Morning Dish.
He's the hardest working man in show business. His band's music takes you into the midnight hours. And when you wake up, his voice is back on your radio alarm clock. How on earth did this happen?
Well, Jeff saw me taking out the trash at the radio station.
And he won another award.
But this one is better.
I'm your boogeyman. That's what I am.
It's the Morning Dish with the 2019 Radio Personality of the Year winner, Stephen Phillips.
You paying attention to this, Packy?
And Murphy's own Sherry Raines.
Yeah, you must have given horseback passes to the right guy, Stephen.
Well, giddy up.
And Packy Smith's Shetland pony is right alongside.
You guys know these demo tapes don't just edit themselves together, right?
Well, all right.
3 cheers for Stephen Phillips.
Y'all need to help Stephen Phillips out over there. Out the door and off the radio.
Here's Stephen Phillips.
All righty, folks, we're back with you. Hope everybody's doing good out there. And I've got a friend of mine. We actually met in jail out in Las Vegas. And but anyway, he has got a story to tell, got a book out on borrowed time. Anthony Williams, good morning.
What's going on, brother? How are you?
Man, we're doing good. I guarantee you we're hiding out here in Hiawassee where it's raining out here in Georgia. What's the weather like out in your neck of the woods?
Well, man, I live in Southern California, man. So it's always sunny, man. You just depend on whether or not you're going to deal with 90 degrees or 65 degrees.
That's the way to go. Of course, you got all them crazy people out there in California. We know how they are out there, man. We've heard all about them. You know, you've got a heck of a story to tell, man. You know, you got this book out on borrowed time, and actually, you're not even supposed to be with us. You're supposed to be dead and gone and living in heaven right now. Can you tell these folks a little bit about that?
Oh, man. Yeah, thank you so much, man. On Borrowed Time, The Reinvention of a Lost Soul. I self-published that in January of 2020. Man, it's a story. It's a self-help memoir, and goes from, everything goes from childhood up until just about a couple of years ago.
Right.
And yeah, I was given less than 48 hours to live when I was 20 years old. Man, I had open heart surgery, so it was real bad. I woke up on the 1st of January, and it was right after New Year's. Right, the next morning, New Year's Day, woke up and my finger was swollen about 3 times the size of normal, and it was because my heart was giving out. So I was in a lot of trouble, man. So I got rushed to the hospital. They gave me the diagnosis, and somehow I'm here.
I mean, the God's grace, but I mean, you've had a lot of other stuff. I mean, your life story just goes on and on and on about some of the trials and tribulations, I guess you say, that you've had over the years. But now, how old are you now? You were 20 then. How old are you now?
I'm 38.
Yeah. 18 years. That's pretty cool. Yep, that is.
Yeah, it was. Look, I'm on blood thinners, man. And, I've been on blood thinners for 18 years. Blood thinners are the things like, they give old people, right? That's what most people think, right?
Right.
And they're like, hey, you're going to have to be on these blood thinners for the rest of your life. And I had no idea, right? But here was the choice. Here's the real decision, what most people don't know. It's either get a mechanical heart valve,
right?
Maybe get, a natural option. And at that time, right, in 2004, we weren't dealing with the same exact technology that we're dealing with right now. So the fear was that I'd have to be back in the hospital again at like the age 30, or 32. And I'm like, I don't want to be cut open again in 10 years. You know what I mean? I got to come back and do this again. So that was in the decision making, man. When you're 21 years old, you don't want to be back in a hospital again. But I can tell you, I made some funny stories that I included in the book within my hospital stay. That's what I can tell you.
Well, I mean, you looked at it in a good way. I mean, you've got a good sense of humor, and I guess, I think that carries a lot, getting over a lot of this stuff. But now you actually, I mean, through the years, you've had different stuff going on back and forth, but you actually, you had a child, right?
I got 2. First of all, the hard stuff, man. I got to check my mental status on a regular day. You have kids and go through quarantine, man? Because I'll tell you what, I think that takes over heart surgery any day, man. That is nuts.
Well, they had to do the homeschooling stuff out here for a while because of COVID, and I think all the parents has got together, signed a petition for the school teachers to actually be able to drink alcohol during school.
Yep, we had a petition.
Yeah.
Oh, I got a funny story. It was really funny during quarantine, man. Everyone's trying to find some stuff to make them laugh, and I had some friends that were teachers, and she sent me over a video. She said, "Please don't share this. You know, I know you do a podcast. I know people listen to you, so please don't share this."
So here you are.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Yeah. She sends me. Well, no, I can say it now. I can say
Okay.
it now. I got clearance. Yeah, I got clearance. And this was months ago. She sends me a picture. They're doing homeschooling, and it was hysterical, man. The mom walks by the camera. She's naked, doesn't even pay attention, right? And the teacher screams out. Now, forget all that. The kid's face was the most priceless thing ever because it was unfazed. Like, his mother got caught in the camera naked trying to get clothes, and the kid's face never changed.
It's like
It was amazing.
Just normal day.
It was just a normal day, man. Quarantine had people crazy. I can tell you that.
Well, I think this ain't changed much. You know, only good thing I like about the mask mandate is some people look better with it on. But now, one of your kids, did you not have a youngin' on the side of the road?
Oh, all right. You want me to go there? Okay.
Yeah, I want you to go there.
I'll go there for you. Okay, so yeah, this was funny. So my daughter, Italia, she's 3 years old, and when she was going to be born, my wife, I walked upstairs the night before. She was born December 6th. I walk upstairs the night before, and I look at my wife. She's laying in bed, and I say, "Ooh, you don't look good, right?" Not like,
Yeah, don't tell a pregnant
right?
woman
Like, I
that.
just
Come
wanna
on,
be
man.
clear with everybody. No, I got my wife is a beautiful woman, but I looked at her. I said, "Hey, you don't look good, man. You look like a baby's coming, man. It's coming now.
You don't look good, man.
Soon, right?" And she goes, she looks at me and she's like, "No, we'll be fine." And I'm like, "Listen, let's go down to the hospital. I'll get you in, right? Well, let's go in. Let's just be safe, right? Let's be safe."
Right.
And no. Now, mind you, let me just explain. Shout out to all the doulas out there. That's what you do. This one, so much. So she was on the phone with the doula the whole time, texting back and forth. And now the doula is supposed to guide you through this process, right? Well, she failed. So I wake up at like 5:30 in the morning. I go to bed, not paying attention. I wake up. I'm woken up by my son. At this time, my son is 6.5 years old. And he goes, "Daddy, Mommy can't get off the couch." And I'm like, what? It's almost 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm getting woken up by my son. Just imagine that picture. And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" I go downstairs and my wife's in labor. And I'm like, "Oh man, we ain't having this baby here. Like that. No, not in this house. No, we can't." Like, in my head, I just couldn't fathom what was going on. Anyway, just for the audience, there is a hospital 3 miles away from my house. Even head in that direction. She has a doctor down near San Diego in Poway, California.
Right.
And that's the only thing that was on my mind. Man, that's 45 minutes from where I live. So she's already in labor. My mind already went out the window. There's a hospital 3 miles away, so I start driving down the freeway. I'm doing like 100 miles per hour. The demonic sounds coming from my wife in the car. I was just trying to hang on. My son's in the back seat thinking he's on a roller coaster. And here I am shooting out like cheesy movie lines. I'm like, "Buddy, I just need you to be part of the team, man. Just hang in there. We're going to get to the hospital. We're good." And he's in the back, strapped in with a seatbelt. His arms are up in the air. He's all happy. My wife's over here screaming like Chewbacca. I got no idea what's going on. I'm trying to just get to the hospital. I don't know what's going to happen. And the only thing in my mind is, please don't have this baby in the car. So I just start ripping down the 15 freeway, going towards San Diego, trying to make it to the hospital. I'm in total panic mode, man. And I go on the shoulders of the freeway because if you've ever driven towards San Diego at that time in the morning, it's pretty packed. Anyway,
Right.
I start going down the freeway. I see a cop up ahead, and I'm driving at 100 miles per hour. I pull up next to the cop. I thought he was going to shoot me in the face.
Right.
I thought he might, because as I pulled up, I had the window down, and I'm hanging out the car, and I'm screaming, "We need help, we need help." Now,
Yeah.
what sold it, my wife leaning over because she's leaning in the front seat, and the look on her face, it let him know, like, this dude's not crazy.
Right.
So he taps the brakes, he gets behind us, he pops the lights on. Now, everyone must have thought this was either an OJ chase or something, man. Like, this was like, everyone must have thought there was a 900-foot buffer between cars and us. So they thought this was a high-speed chase or something. Nobody knew what was going on. The cop signals up to me. He lets me go. He just, like, waves his hand. So, man, I had every chance to break the law. I'm speeding.
So, yeah, I went for it, man.
Oh, I did.
Yeah.
And when I tell you, I looked at, here was my cheesy movie line. And I wrote this in my book, right? I looked at she goes, oh, please be careful. And I looked at my wife and I went, don't worry, baby, I know how to drive. Right? That was my line. And she makes fun. Right? It was just, what was I supposed to say, man? I'm like freaking out. The baby's going to happen. Anyway, the cop pulls back up. He honks up. He pulls back up next to us. He's screaming through the window, we're not going to make it. We're not going to make it. Pull over next exit. So I pull over next exit, man, jam the brakes. And I hop out the car. The cop hops out the car. I grab my son from the back seat. The cop grabs my son's arm, and he walks him away from the freeway itself. I get back to the front seat, and there's a baby in yoga pants, man.
Oh,
the baby's in my wife's yoga pants. And so here I am, just Neanderthal, and I'm like, the baby's gonna die. We haven't been evolving for the last couple thousand years,
this has happened a few times. Yeah, this has happened a few times.
Yeah. So anyway, this little alien baby's, there with cords, and I'm freaking out, man. I'm freaking out, and I go grab towels. The doula, who was useless as all hell, shows up. She, starts to help. So she earns some of her money right there. Anyway, the fire engine, the ambulance come. They finally show up. It was like 45 seconds later. Felt like an hour and a half. And they come up and they're like, hey, we're here to deliver a baby. I'm like, shut up and cover the baby. I'm like yelling at them and stuff like that. I'm like, get the baby to the hospital. Cop comes over. They finally get my wife and the baby in the ambulance, start taking them to the hospital. Cop comes over. Hey, man, that was awesome. Are you okay? And I'm like, no, I am not okay.
I can drive.
As I'm cleaning afterbirth out of the front seat of my car.
That's what I was going to ask. Did you get rid of the car? That's what I said. Did you get rid of the car after this?
I detailed it. I don't give up that easy. You know what I mean? What I was worried about was I didn't want people to think like I did something wrong in this car, get pulled over, on the way to the hospital, right? It's like the cop gave me like this, poster board. Hey, he's okay. Don't mess with him. You know what I mean? Like he just walked over and asked if I was okay. So I said no. I'm trying to clean the car out. He comes over for a second time. He goes, "Hey, man, are you okay?" No, man, I'm really not. Yeah. But I'm gonna listen to ESPN radio and I'm gonna go to the hospital. Long story short, man, I get to the hospital. Baby's doing good. Mom's up and walking.
Hey, what did you name the baby? What's the girl's name?
My daughter's name is Italia.
That's nice. Pretty. Yeah, that's pretty. Well, man, we are coming up to a break. These folks, you've got a lot of stuff going on. You do a podcast thing. You've got a lot of stuff going on. How does people get up with Anthony Williams where they can find your book and then find out more about you?
Well, On Borrowed Time, The Reinvention of a Lost Soul is on Amazon. It's available everywhere. You can find it in every store. The podcast is The Independent Mouth. We talk about everything. We interview celebrities. We do sports. We do everything. And the easiest way to get there, man, you can find me on theindependentmouth.com. The podcast is on every platform out there, from Spotify, iHeartRadio, Alexa. It doesn't make a difference. And or you can find me on any social media. I'm on every social media at The Independent Mouth.
Well, man, I appreciate you getting up early because it's like 5:30 out there this morning. And y'all need to go check him out. He's a lot of fun. You can tell he's got a lot of stories to tell. And he's lucky to be alive, man. So we're going to keep you in our prayers as time goes on. How about that?
Absolutely, man. I love you guys. Thank you so much for having me on.
Thank you.
Man, you be good. Thank you for listening. This is Stephen Phillips, host of The Morning Dish. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel because we have a lot more interviews out there to listen to. Plus, you can listen online every morning at WJULradio.com or Lake 97.7 WJUL. And give us a like on our Facebook page, The Morning Dish.